The strong Muslim woman is the easiest person to ignore because she never complains. She adjusts, she absorbs, she says it's fine. And that's exactly why nobody checks on her. Somewhere right now, there is a woman holding an entire family together with emotional thread. And she hasn't been asked how she's really doing in months if that sentence felt uncomfortably specific. Stay with me. Strong Muslim women don't fall apart loudly. They host Eid, they remember birthdays, they respond in the family group chat, they de-escalate arguments, they apologize first, even when they shouldn't. And at night, they stare at the ceiling in silence, not because they lack gratitude, but because they are tired in a way sleep cannot fix, tired of being the stable one, tired of being the reasonable one, tired of being the one who understands. And here's the part no one says out loud. You don't feel allowed to be tired because others have it worse, because this is your test, because be patient. So you swallow it again and again until your needs feel selfish. Let me say something that might sting. Some of you are not exhausted because life is heavy. You're exhausted because you refuse to admit you need help. You've built your identity around being the strong one, and now you don't know who you are without the struggle. That's not strength. That's emotional self-neglect wearing hijab, and yes, that's uncomfortable. But discomfort wakes us up. There's a psychological term called compassion fatigue. It happens when someone gives so much emotional energy that their own inner reserves run dry, and it doesn't happen to people who don't care. It happens to the most caring ones, the most empathetic ones, the ones who feel everything deeply. But we're never taught they were allowed to rest. Somewhere along the way, you confused being needed with being valued. Read that again in your mind. Being needed is not the same as being cherished. Strong women are needed constantly, but rarely nurtured, and we call that saber. We romanticize burnout and label it righteousness, but saber was never meant to mean bleed quietly so everyone else stays comfortable. Saber was never meant to mean erase yourself and call it reward. Here is where everything shifts. You feel invisible because you made people the audience of your strength. You're waiting for them to notice, to thank you, to finally say, how are you really? But they are busy surviving their own lives, and while you were scanning the room for validation, you forgot who was always watching. Allah is Al-Basir, the one who sees the breakdown you hide behind composure, the moment you smiled while your chest was tight, the prayer you forced yourself to stand for when your heart felt dry, the dua you whispered into your pillow when no one heard you cry. He saw it, all of it. And he is Ash-Shakur, the one who appreciates what no human applauds. Nothing you carried was invisible to him. Not one sacrifice, not one restraint, not one silent act of dignity. Nothing was wasted. But listen carefully. Being witnessed by Allah does not mean you are meant to suffer alone. Second confrontation. Some of you use Allah sees me as an excuse to avoid hard conversations. That's not tawakkul. That's fear of concentration dressed up as spirituality. Strength in Islam was never silence, it was anchored dignity. The women of our tradition spoke, they asked, they expressed pain. Righteousness does not require self-erasure. You do not earn Jannah by emotionally starving. So here is your reset. Tonight before you sleep, admit you are tired, not dramatically, not hopelessly, honestly to yourself, to Allah. Then write 3 things you did today that required inner strength, not chores, not obligations, inner strength. Did you hold your tongue? Did you pray when you felt spiritually empty? Did you stop a negative spiral in your mind? These are not small things, they are proof you are not weak, you are overloaded, and there is a difference. Let me leave you with this. Strong Muslim women are not breaking because they lack faith. They are breaking because they carry too much alone. You don't have to disappear to be righteous. You don't have to shrink to be loved, and you don't have to break to prove you are strong. If this felt like someone described your private thoughts, don't scroll away quietly. Another strong woman is pretending she's fine right now. Send this to her, because we are done normalizing silent burnout in the name of saber. And maybe, just maybe, the strongest thing you will ever do is admit you need gentleness too.